thought that they could do it again. When you are the underdog and you take game one, right? A lot of the times you lose game two and you walk out and say, hey, we did our part. We took home court advantage and we're going to try to hold things down at home. The Knicks did that and more. Because for the second game in a row against the defending champions, I want to remind you, they were down by 20 points and they came all the way back to win. Down by 20 points with 4 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the third quarter. They used the next 16 minutes to claw their way back. Shout out to Mikal Bridges early in that fourth quarter. To claw their way back and eventually beat the Celtics again. What the hell, man? This playoffs has seen crazy comeback after crazy comeback. The crazy comebacks are so crazy, right? The OKC Thunder up by 32, and I'm like, I can't turn this game off just yet. I just don't know. I just don't know at this point what a lead is that the other team can't come back from. And then eventually OKC and then pulled their starters, and now I'm filming this video with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, so it is what it is. But I want to remind you of my schedule around here because I got so many mentions after the game was done. Kenny, what a Knicks video. Kenny showing that he hate the Knicks because he ain't dropped the video. 95% of the time, I wait until all the games are over, baby. I wait until all the games are over. So I still want to see what's going on in OKC and Denver, ladies and gentlemen, because you never know. It might be something to talk about. It wasn't. Here's what to talk about in that series from game number 2, and then we'll really get to the cream of the crop, which was game number 1 of today. Great bounce back from OKC. Belt ass. Notes say, because I didn't know what the hell was going to happen, Alex Caruso didn't check in until 1 minute left in the first quarter. And they were also up by like 22 at that point. I was like, you know what? Let me put that pen down. And they just took care of business. So shout out to them. Now they got to go to Ball Arena and at least take one to make this series what it could be. All right, now let's talk about this. Whew. All right, so this is where I'll start with it. The Knicks, when they made these trades, when they traded for Mikal, when they traded for Karl Anthony Towns, I remember in our video, or I don't know if it was the video or the podcast, everything be kind of mixing together. I was like, hey, this team is built to try to replicate the roster construction, or at least the 5-man unit of the Boston Celtics. Now, of course, the play styles are dramatically different. The damn Boston Celtics don't like to touch the paint. The best player on the Knicks love touching the paint. So it's like the play styles are different for sure. But you think about the big-ass wings we acquired, OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, that's supposed to match the big-ass wings on the other side. You know, they built this Knicks team to play against the Celtics in a 7-game series. You got a stretch five in Porzingis. I guess you don't really have Porzingis, but we have a stretch five, maybe the greatest stretch five ever. I wish we would get him to take more 3-pointers, put him in a position to be the best stretch five ever, but whatever. Right? So these teams were kind of like the Knicks. Leon Rose looked at what the Boston Celtics were doing and said, we can replicate that at least in a unit or two. But the problem was throughout the 82-game regular season, this team was good. Don't get me wrong. This Knicks team is a 50-plus win team. But they didn't show to have the dog. They just did. I mean, on a nightly basis, and when they're going against the Charlotte Hornets, everybody's a dog. When they're going against the Bulls, everybody's a dog. But they didn't show to be a dog when they went against those top teams. And that's how you end up 0-11 or whatever the hell the number was against the top-end teams. So when you think about this on paper, like, man, they got destroyed by the Celtics 3 of the 4 games they played against them. This is a Celtics series for sure. This Knicks team ain't been able to beat nobody. And then I'm watching this game. And I'm like, why the hell do we watch the regular season? Because if we have a sample size that say this Knicks team can't fuck with the Celtics in the regular season, and then they get to the postseason, they smacking that ass, then why do we just watch those games in the first place? Because we love basketball. I'm not just talking about the Celtics in this way because they lost. Because I got the tweets to prove that when they were up by 16 points, I tweeted, if the Celtics continue to play this way, they cannot win a championship this season. I wasn't thinking about tonight. I thought tonight, after what they did in game number 1, there was no chance they was going to blow another lead. They did end up doing that. I wasn't even thinking about this series. I'm thinking about the next series. I'm thinking about the championship. This is, again, a team that just did it last year, but the way they are playing right now, I just don't, they can't do that. There was maybe, and I'm being completely transparent, there was maybe a 2-minute stretch where I watched this game from the Celtics' perspective and thought that this is the team that's going to win a championship. That's not good. That's not good. And last series, they played against a very physical Orlando Magic team. Orlando Magic don't have the talent to mess around with them, right? They beat the hell out of Celtics, but they don't have the talent to match. They have the 2 scoring guys, and everybody else is kind of buns at the end of the day. The Knicks have talent. They not beating them up just like the Orlando Magic did last series, but they have talent. And you can't just coast against a team that has talent. You can coast against Orlando. They have their best perimeter defender out with an injury, their best playmaker out with an injury, and no spacing whatsoever. You cannot coast your way through the postseason. And I just don't understand it because you watch this team play and you like, this team won last year? They don't look like they won last year. I think that they've just been so used to this season being able to turn it on for a 4-minute stretch and be like, okay, now we're done. We can just chill. And that's what they've been doing. We go up by 15. We go up by 20. Now we can just chill. You can't do that in the postseason. The Knicks have showed that they now have that dog. This Knicks team right now is reminding me of last year's Knicks team. Gritty as hell. They scored 91 points in the basketball game, and they won. The defense from the Knicks has been the biggest question. Can a team with Karl-Anthony Towns as their anchor, can a team with Jalen Brunson on the court for 40 minutes, can they really defend in the postseason? And so far, the answer has been yes. And you want to know what I have in my notes? The one thing that I thought one of the many things I thought the Celtics had as an advantage going into the series is the way they can get teams into rotation. I know we're going to talk about the amount of three-point shots they're taking and how they're fucking bricking everything, but some of the ways they generate those threes is dribble penetration, swing, open three-pointer. The Knicks have not allowed themselves to get in rotation a lot. They have been, and this is something I did not see coming from Tom Thibodeau and the New York Knicks, they have been conceding almost every switch that the Boston Celtics have wanted until... This is cold. I don't know if this is good coaching or what. Until we got down to the last couple minutes or so. And we'll talk about that in a second. If you want Jalen Brunson on an island, fine. If you want Karl-Anthony Towns on an island, fine. We're going to trust those guys in this series because we know what you really want to do. You do want to get to the paint. You do want to kick it out to the shooters in the corner. You do want to swing it up to the wing. We're not going to allow you to do that. Right? So they've been doing an amazing job. Jalen Brunson got the switch. It's like a minute or two left in this game. I didn't write down the actual numbers, the actual time. He got a switch, or Jaylen Brown got to switch to Brunson. That's what I mean. And Brunson just stood his own. Brunson is a small-ass dude. I showed the picture the other day. When me and Brunson met each other, I'm 5'7", by the way. Here. I mean, he was taller than me, obviously. But like that's a small-ass guy, right? He's guarding 6'5", 6'6". I don't know what Jaylen Brown is listed. He's guarding an elite-level wing, and he just stands his ground. His stockier body allows him to just be physical, right? Like, and when they did it, it wasn't in space. Because I think that where you could get Jalen Brunson is putting him into space and getting around that corner. Jalen Brunson played off enough where Jaylen Brown decided to try to post him up. Do you not look at this? This man's built like a fire hydrant. Post him up all you want. And it resulted in Jaylen Brown trying to just shoot straight over him and contested miss. There's the one play where, again, them trying to get Karl-Anthony Towns and them trying to get Jalen Brunson into the action. Let me see if I can find the game log so I can figure out exactly how much time was left on the clock here. And y'all know these are unedited and whatever. We gonna thug it out here because we having a lot of fun. It's the fourth quarter and a couple minutes left, obviously. Yeah, they did like a double drag screen that had whoever Karl-Anthony Towns was guarding, whoever Jalen Brunson was guarding, and then the ball handler, OG Anunoby, was guarding. This is one of the times where the Celtics are probably expecting them to get a switch. I don't know if they were trying to get the cat switch. No, they're probably getting the Brunson switch because the Brunson was guarding the last guy on the screen. Regardless, OG Anunoby fought his way through two screens to be like, no. It's me and you. And I know OG Anunoby scored 5 points today, but I promise you some of them defensive possessions down the stretch make me not give a damn about him shooting 2 for 9 tonight. Seriously. He can be just ridiculous as a defensive player. And that's always been the case. But, it's the playoffs, baby. It's amplified. Mikal Bridges coming alive in that fourth quarter was huge, man. This is not... Jalen Brunson's not on the court. Karl-Anthony Towns not on the court. And at this point, I think he's 0 of 8 from the field. And he just went on his own, 7-2 run, 9-2 run to really get things started. Karl-Anthony Towns killed the glass today. Love it from him. I still don't feel like they're utilizing Cat in the most perfect way. Cat can be very physical, but a lot of the times he's getting the switches that he wants. And because the guy guarding him is so small, they beat the hell out of him, and he goes up and he doesn't get the whistle that I think maybe sometimes he deserved. But he also is the best shooting big of all time, if you ask him. And some of these games he ends up with 1 3-pointer, 2 3-pointers, 3 3-pointers. I feel like you can get that up because we know he can shoot that ball. This is not a series. I'm be honest with you. This is not a series I thought the Knicks had a real chance in. Shout out to Josh Hart. Just like we said last night when we talk about the Pacers comeback, Josh Hart was there, Benedict Mathurin. When things were not going well, there's one guy on the court that's giving it his all and scoring and just keeping things afloat. That was Josh Hart today. Mitchell Robinson. Hey, listen. I gotta tip my cap. I gotta give credit. Because I remember we did our preview of this series on Numbers on the Board, and the comment section like, I don't know how you do this preview and not mention Mitchell Robinson. And I'm like, yeah, but I just don't know how much he'll be able to play in this series. He's been so good in the series that the Celtics have been hacking Mitchell Robinson, not because of the math. Because in this game, it's 91-90 at the grand scheme of things. Mitchell Robinson hitting 1 of 2 free throws is a good possession at this point of the playoffs, right? They didn't hack a Mitch to get him to the line. They hacked a Mitch to dare Tom Thibodeau to take him off the court. Come on, man. That's impact. That's impact. So shout out to the Knicks. They get 4 chances to win 2 games, and I know Madison Square Garden is about to be loud as hell. But in 2017, my favorite team did this exact same thing to the Celtics. Now, of course, different coaching. This whole roster is different. But you remember when it was Rondo, Dwayne Wade, and Jimmy Butler going to the Garden and still in the first 2, then losing 4 in a row? Anything is on the table. But the way this Knicks team has been performing, they're not that fucking Bulls team who was the 8 seed or the 7 seed. This is a real legitimate team all of a sudden. And I'm saying all this stuff because even Knicks fans didn't believe it. Not even Knicks fans. But now the Celtics. What can you say that doesn't come off as super, I don't know, derogatory, if that's the right word, or super negative about what I do? How do I, we team enjoy basketball around here, but you got to call a spade a spade. Jason Tatum, who I adore, by the way. I want to make that very apparent. I really like Jason Tatum as a player. I am not one of those people that has been hating on Tatum for 7 years. That's not who I am, damn it. Jason Tatum checked back into the game with 5 minutes and 5 seconds left in the fourth quarter. When he was on the bench, his team gave up. It went from a 16-point lead to a 10-point lead. And I was curious because at this point in time, the Knicks have all the momentum. What type of shots do they generate, and what type of timing will Jason Tatum be on? The first play of them getting the ball, they took way too long to get the switch, and he passes out to a contested Derek White 3. That's fine, first possession. Second possession, he gets a very good corner look. Very as open of a look as he'll ever get. He bricked it. Then the next possession, he's going one-on-one with OG Anunoby, finds his way on the right baseline and takes a turnaround contested 3. Or it's a turnaround contested 2. And it goes downhill and downhill and downhill where y'all know the stats. They didn't score for what the last, they went like a 7-minute, 6-minute drought of no baskets. They scored 4 baskets in the fourth quarter. 4. 3 of them were on broken plays. 2 of them were Porzingis putbacks. They airball, like an air ball from Al Horford and an air ball from somebody else. Porzingis, right place, right time. What the fuck is going on, Porzingis? Who the hell knows? He gets 2 putback dunks. And then the third one that was a broken play was like a fast break where the Knicks thought they heard a whistle or thought it was a shot clock violation or whatever. Peyton Pritchard hits a 3. 3 of their 4 possessions that they scored on were broken plays. What the hell is happening? This is not a series and or team that they can win if Tatum can't score. Last year, they were able to be okay because Tatum defended well, he playmaked well, he did everything else other than put the ball in the basket. This is not a team that can do the same thing as last year if Tatum cannot score. And right now, he cannot score. 5 of 19. He missed like 6 layups. It was bad. And then the last possession, just the cherry on top. For any Jason Tatum hater, this was like cinema to you. Because it was really, really bad. Like really, really bad. And I just don't know what else to say other than that. It just was a horrible performance. Full stop. When you think about how dramatic things are, the difference, and the level of trust you have in your guy, it's dramatically different between these 2 teams. The Knicks will fucking die on the Jalen Brunson hill. So much to a fault, by the way, in a lot of cases, where they don't generate any other offense sometimes that is outside of Jalen Brunson with 2 minutes to go. I just feel like sometimes down the stretch, that's the opposite for the Celtics. Where it's like, who is our guy? And granted, I know Tatum has hit some huge shots. He's got a game win in the playoffs. He's got a 50-point game in the playoffs in the Game 7. He's got these accolades. I'm not trying to diminish who he is as a player. But did you have trust in them when they got this ball back? Because I sure as hell didn't. And I felt this way today, and I felt this way 2 days ago when they lost again. When the game is on the line, I have not felt that level of security for the Celtics. When I saw the Knicks get the ball with 24 seconds left, I thought to myself, they're going to find a way to score or get a good look. Regardless, whether the shot goes in or not, they're going to find a way to get a good look. This is the second game in a row where the game is on the line for the Celtics, and they didn't even get ball on the rim. Inexcusable for a team that just won the championship last season. What is happening? This playoffs has been insane. Porzingis plays 14 minutes because he's got whatever he's got. I'm fake scared for bro. In March, he misses games because he's got this illness, and now we're in May, and it's like, still happening? It's not our business, but I'm afraid that he got something that can spread to everybody in the world. Nobody should be sick for this long. I'm hoping he gets back to healthy, but because they desperately need him. They just do. We can't rely on old man Al Horford to take 11 shots in the game. It just can't be that way. They took 43 pointers today and shot 25%. Again. Shout out to the Knicks, man. This is a timeline that I never could have expected based on who the Knicks has showed us to be in the 82-game regular season. Again, I don't know why we watch the damn regular season if it ain't gonna matter. We could see a Knicks versus Pacers conference finals. And the history that goes into that is insane. I know a lot of us was not alive for when that rivalry was really going on. But this could be man, the amount of money you would have been able to win if you bet that at the beginning of the season, insane. Series is far from over. They still got 2 more games to play, 2 more games to win, from this Knicks perspective. And I cannot wait to see how Joe Mazzulla and his team reacts, because I have hated almost every single minute they've played in this series. And I'm not even messing around. I'm not even messing around.